John Deere revoked the warranty of the wrong farmer. After a false inspection report accused 67-year-old Earl Sutton of modifying his tractor, the company expected him to quietly pay a $4,200 repair bill and move on. Instead, Earl found proof they were lying. 5 days later, 84 tractors were blocking John Deere's service gate. In October 2019, Earl Sutton drove from his farm outside Parsons, Tennessee, to an authorized John Deere dealership in Lexington. He had brought in his 2017 John Deere 613OR for a routine hydraulic inspection, the kind of visit that should have been simple and fully covered under his extended warranty. That morning, he sat in the waiting area expecting nothing unusual. But when a service advisor came out to speak with him, the tone changed immediately. The dealership claimed their technician had found an unauthorized modification inside Earl's hydraulic system. According to them, there was an aftermarket pressure valve in the machine, a part that was not approved by John Deere. Earl knew that sounded wrong the second he heard it. He maintained that tractor himself. He knew the hydraulic system, and he knew there was no aftermarket valve in it. So he asked them to show him the part. The advisor told him the system had already been reassembled. Earl then asked for a photo, because if the technician had really found an unauthorized part, there should have been evidence before the machine was put back together. There was no photo, no physical proof, just a written claim and a warning that his warranty would now be flagged for review. 8 days later, the formal notice arrived. John Deere revoked coverage on Earl's hydraulic system and related components, using that inspection finding as the reason. That would have been bad enough on its own, but Earl's tractor actually did have a hydraulic leak. It was a real issue, and the inspection was supposed to help get it repaired under warranty. Now that coverage was gone and the repair estimate landed on him, $4,200. The company was asking him to pay thousands of dollars based on a finding he knew was false. But John Deere had made one huge mistake. Back at home, Earl had an older document sitting in a desk drawer. 2 years earlier, when he purchased the extended warranty, the dealership had completed a full inspection of the tractor and documented the hydraulic system in detail. That report showed the system was completely stock. No unauthorized parts, no aftermarket valve, no hidden modification. So now Earl was looking at two documents that could not both be true. One report said the tractor was stock when the warranty was written. The newer report claimed an unauthorized part had suddenly appeared and was serious enough to void the warranty. At that point, this no longer looked like a simple mistake. Most people would have called customer service, hired a lawyer, or started posting online. Earl did none of that. Instead, on a Thursday evening, he called his neighbor, Gerald Ford, and told him exactly what had happened. The false finding, the revoked warranty, the $4,200 bill, and the older inspection report that made the whole thing look suspicious. When Earl finished, Gerald asked one question. "Who else knows?" Earl told him. "Nobody yet." Gerald answered, "I'll make some calls." That one sentence changed everything. This story did not spread through social media. It moved through a farming network built over years, through neighbors, friends, relatives, and people who trusted Earl's word. Gerald started with 7 calls. Those 7 calls turned into dozens more. The story spread fast because the details were simple and strong. A false inspection, a revoked warranty, a big repair bill, and paperwork that didn't match the company's story. By Friday morning, farmers across several Tennessee counties had heard what happened to Earl Sutton. By the weekend, 84 farmers had decided they were showing up. Not online, not in comment sections, and not with angry posts. In person. The place they chose was the John Deere Regional Service Center on Highway 70 in Jackson, Tennessee, the facility tied to warranty processing for that area. The morning they chose was Tuesday, November 5th, 2019. Before sunrise, the first tractor rolled in. Then another. Then more. As the sky started to brighten, tractors kept arriving from different roads, different farms, and different counties, all for the same reason. By 6:30 in the morning, 19 tractors were already positioned across the entrance. By 7 o'clock, there were 43. By 7:15, 61 tractors were blocking every entrance. And by 7:30, when the service center was supposed to open, all 84 tractors were in place. A line of John Deere tractors was now blocking a John Deere facility, all because one farmer had been pushed too far, and the people around him decided he would not stand there alone. Inside the building, employees were staring out the windows. Drivers on Highway 70 slowed down to look. Managers started getting calls. What had started as a paperwork issue was now a public problem. Earl arrived at 7:42, not in a tractor, but in his truck. He parked, stepped out, and walked toward the entrance where a regional manager was waiting. When the manager asked what this was all about, Earl gave him the answer without raising his voice. He pulled out 2 documents, the warranty revocation notice and the original inspection report from 2 years earlier. That was all he needed. The manager read both papers while 84 tractors sat behind Earl in silent rows, and the contradiction was obvious immediately. The old inspection showed the hydraulic system as completely stock when the warranty was purchased. The newer report claimed an unauthorized aftermarket part had been found in that same system. Those 2 findings could not both be accurate. Once that was clear, the tone inside John Deere changed fast. Calls were made to the dealership, to the warranty office, and to regional leadership in Nashville. A higher-level executive drove in to deal with the situation personally. When he arrived, he read the same documents, looked at Earl, looked at the tractors, and said the words the company had avoided for weeks. "I owe you an apology." Before noon, Earl's warranty was reinstated in writing. The revoked claim was reversed, the hydraulic coverage was restored, and the correction was handed to him on paper. The blockade had worked. But the story did not end there. Once John Deere admitted the paperwork did not line up, a bigger question followed. How had the false inspection report been written in the first place? According to the account that followed, the company launched an internal investigation into the dealership's inspection practices. Over the following weeks, that investigation reportedly led to serious consequences, including employee terminations and action against the dealership's service certification. Earl's hydraulic leak was later repaired under warranty by a different dealership, quickly and without the drama that started all of this. And that only made the original situation look worse, because in the end, the repair itself was never the real story. The real story was that John Deere thought they were dealing with one farmer, one machine, and one bill. What they were really dealing with was a man who kept his documents, knew his equipment, and had spent enough years earning trust that one phone call could bring 84 tractors to a company gate. That is why this story matters, not just because tractors blocked a service center, but because it happened without a viral campaign, without an online movement, and without the internet doing the work. One farmer was wronged, one neighbor made some calls, and by Tuesday morning an entire company was forced to answer for it in person. If you want more stories like this, where ordinary people push back against bigger systems, subscribe to the channel. And tell me in the comments, would John Deere have fixed this if Earl had stayed quiet?